4 years.
Frankie Edgar!
His reputation as a warrior growing with each improbable victory.
New UFC!
BJ's the greatest lightweight ever, and I just beat him.
New Jersey is full of tough dudes. This might be the toughest kid ever from the Garden State.
Frankie Edgar right now is the king. His will is really immeasurable. You can't measure what's inside a man's heart.
The challenger arrived undaunted, audacious, athletic,
Tremendous physical condition.
Man.
and brimming with confidence.
Frankie Edgar, we got a date. Let's do it, baby.
Henderson just has a swagger to him.
Touch gloves, let's do this.
Look at that big kick. Up kick, up kick.
Frank, get back and breathe.
When you think you have him hurt, Frankie Edgar kicks in this extra gear to prove to you that you don't.
Just keep doing the same thing, just a tad more aggressive, you hear me?
After 25 grueling minutes,
He has a nasty guillotine to Henderson. Oh, it's his best submission.
the belt changed hands.
So I intend on holding this belt for a long time.
But the former champ wants it back.
The belt belongs to me, Frankie Edgar.
New UFC lightweight champion Benson Henderson mounts his first title defense in a rematch with former champ Frankie Edgar. Submission specialist Donald Cerrone takes on ex-teammate and knockout artist Melvin Guillard. And former Strikeforce champ Jake Shields makes his return to middleweight against hard-nosed brawler Ed Herman. The countdown to UFC 150 starts now.
The judges score this contest 49-46, 48-47, and 49-46 for the winner.
For Benson Henderson, hearing the decision at UFC 144 was the end of an unlikely journey to the top.
Champion of the world!
And there he is with his mother's song.
Look how happy she is.
She is such a wonderful, wonderful story.
His Korean mother knew little English when she came to America, and with her husband in and out of jail, she worked tirelessly to raise her 2 sons. After his victory in Japan, Benson made a triumphant return to his mother's homeland.
The reception at the airport was crazy. I felt like I was a freaking rock star, somebody super ridiculously famous. There's a sea of reporters. Behind them were a bunch of fans. It was nuts. I've never experienced anything like that.
Everybody, come and see him. I'm really excited. I'm so proud of my son.
The whole 3 days I was there that time was just one thing after next, after next, after next. Did a bunch of different TV hits, a bunch of different interviews. I went to a taekwondo class for the little kids. Just being inside Seoul is overwhelming to me. I'm used to Phoenix, nice, spread out. It's just, Seoul is massive. It's like the 2nd or 3rd biggest city in the world. It's pretty impressive.
The party continued when the new champ returned home.
We always have a welcome home party after all my fights. Open up to everybody from all of Phoenix. Come on down, take a picture with the belt. You can get us some autographs and stuff. The belt stays here at the gym. The belt's cool. I like the belt. It's not so much about the belt, though. It's about what the belt represents, being the best. I just want to be the best.
But being the champion brings a new challenge, more attention.
It's been busier, press conferences and interviews and that kind of thing.
All the media requests, all the interviews, waking up at 6 in the morning to do 2 or 3 radio interviews.
We have Benson Henderson in the studio.
What's it like fighting in front of,
It'll be 18,000 at least.
Wow.
It's pretty fun. I get pretty excited getting in front of a crowd. I think I'm doing a decent job of not being overwhelmed, of not being too big-headed, not being too egotistical, none of that stuff. The person who gave me the best advice was my boy Dominic Cruz. He was telling me about the pressures you face, the stuff you have to do. And he told me when you have the belt, you have to think of it as a challenge.
Benson's been dodging distractions his entire life. A devout Christian, he steered clear of partying after seeing the toll alcohol and drugs took on his father.
My celebration is coming here, hanging out with the guys, and then being able to next week to go do a jiu-jitsu tournament. I like competing. One direction to the backside, one direction to the front side. Just make sure you have your top of your head inside the rib cage, applying pressure.
He's in the gym every day. I would say he's changed little to not at all.
Why change because you have a belt? I'm not going to change. I want to stay the same fighter that I was before. I had a good formula for success, fighting-wise.
Fixing your footwork.
I want to continue with that.
We put together a couple of losses. Nobody's here anymore talking to us. So it's important that we win.
I don't think I'm fulfilled just for winning my last fight. The belt, all that, it's nice, but where I want to be, the end result is the best ever, greatest of all time, you know? I got a lot of steps to go before I get there. Thankfully, I'm not scared of hard work.
But neither is Frankie Edgar.
I knew Ben was going to be tough. I knew it wasn't going to be an easy fight. I just have to be a little bit better, you know, than I was last time.
Edgar is undefeated in rematches, and he plans to keep it that way.
Ben Henderson will not defend the belt because I'm taking it home. I'm taking it back home with me.
Coming up.
I hit him with a good shot, and it seemed like he slipped.
That's the second time I've seen him do that in a fight, by the way. Wipe his foot out after he got knocked down. I guess his chin was connected to his foot somehow.
Battle-hardened UFC lightweight champion Frankie Edgar thought he'd seen it all in the octagon. But at UFC 144, it took challenger Benson Henderson less than 30 seconds to show him something new.
Henderson loves to throw leg kicks. That one got Conteo. Oh! That was crazy. How good was that attempt?
I haven't seen that move where I'm holding a leg and he comes over with the other leg. You know, I knew Ben's a pretty athletic guy, so good thing I ducked it.
Wow!
Sadly, I didn't land that, but was able to give him something to think about for the rest of the fight. Every time he caught a kick, he had to be aware of that.
Nice takedown by Frankie. Right back up is Henderson. That's looking at that big kick. That's the third time that Frankie Edgar has caught his kick.
He caught the leg kicks, sure, but they still landed first before he caught him.
People think that's a real positive when you catch the leg. Well, it's a positive when you catch the leg and do something, and nothing was being done. So I was perfectly happy for Frankie to eat those kicks all day.
I don't think it was too much of a clean shot. The knee to the face in that first round, you know, got my attention, but I wasn't rocked by or anything like that.
I know a few good ones landed. I felt the air go out of him a little bit. I remember going back to the corner at the end of the first round, he already had a little mouse under his eye.
Frankie has quite a welt on that left eye.
I swell up in fights. Sometimes it happens even in training, so I'm pretty used to it. I can see that's all you really need to do out of your eyes.
Head off the movement. His feet aren't good. Change your angle. Come in. Watch that knee. He's trying to throw things off your one, okay?
I thought I did enough to win the first round.
I think I gave the slight edge to him on the first round.
Here we go, round two. Inside 22. Henderson just has a swagger to him. Yeah, he catches it. Man, this is crazy. Nice takedown. Nice up kick, up kick.
I was lucky enough to be able to land a pretty square one on his nose.
That was a huge up kick by Henderson.
Did a lot of damage. I think it definitely sealed the round for me.
Big ground and pound by Benson. That up kick might have broken his nose.
Ben kicks really hard. So if you put your face in the way, it's going to hurt.
I was rocked for a minute, as you can see, during the fight, but I recovered pretty quickly. I felt I was winning till that up kick.
We might have just seen the turning point in this championship fight.
Without that up kick, I don't think we'd be talking about Ben Henderson right now.
It definitely slowed Frankie down. From there on, we could see it's got everything still, but it's a tad slower, which makes a difference in a title fight.
I gave myself this second round.
Since I did kind of get rocked from that up kick, you have to get it around.
Third round. We've seen Frankie Edgar down but not out.
He's been in these deep waters before. He knows how to survive. He knows how to recover. Good right hand by Edgar lands.
I think I landed a lot of clean punches in that round. The right hook was pretty clean. I don't know if it rocked him completely, but it was pretty flush.
Came upstairs real quick. He got me behind the ear. Like, oh, that one actually stuck a little bit. I gotta keep my hands up. Boy's trying to hurt me.
I was controlling the pace. I'd say round 3, 10-9 me.
I like to push the pace. I like to get the guy tired. And in the third round, I think it started to take an effect on him.
Back down.
I gave the third round to myself.
Joe, look at how fresh Benson Henderson looks after 3 rounds of battle.
Yeah, and clearly he's done the most damage. Good knee by Henderson. And big slam into a guillotine.
I was happy with the bite. Sometimes you don't get it quite good enough. It's on the guy's chin or it's just the wrong placement. It was a good bite. I could hear him, you could feel him. He was choking.
Did he choke out the champion?
I don't remember choking. If I was choking, I shouldn't be able to make noise. So I don't know how you could hear someone choking.
Frankie's trying to separate the leg. Push the leg! Push the leg!
It was on at first, and then as soon as I adjusted, I feel like I cleared the pressure.
Went right away to the right defense, scoot his hips out, lean to the side, and do the right defense to get out of it. So hats off to Frankie.
Nobody's got more heart than Frankie Edgar. 5 minutes remain.
Fourth round for myself, 10-9.
If you're going to give him another round, I'd probably give him the 4th round.
You got 5 good minutes?
I got 15.
You got 5 good minutes?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this. Hard.
Let's go. You get it.
Fresh challenger and a really badly damaged champion.
We know going to the 5th round, it's right there. We're on the verge.
I mean, that truly is the look of a man possessed.
Yeah, Benson Henderson is fired up.
The champ saw the fight even and felt that simply winning the last round would keep the belt in his hands.
Come on, champ, you got 5 minutes.
There wasn't much urgency. If you listen to my corner, you're just saying, keep doing what you're doing. They thought I had the fight.
5th and final round.
Henderson, having himself up 3 rounds to 1, saw it differently.
You could tell he came out a lot more aggressive, like he had to knock me out to win the fight.
You can never count out Frankie Edgar. Oh, good straight left. Oh, big right hand by Henderson. Oh, and he dropped him. It may have been a slip.
I hit him with a good shot, and it seemed like he slipped. Maybe he slipped. Maybe I hit him with a good shot. You know, it's tough to really say.
That's the second time I've seen him do that in a fight, by the way. Wipe his foot out after he got knocked down. I guess his chin was connected to his foot somehow.
About to go the distance. Jumping knee. Guillotine 10 seconds of this fight. Big shot by Henderson.
A big ending.
I was so excited. I was happy.
Do we have a new UFC lightweight champion?
I thought I did enough to win the fight.
I was just thinking, okay, the title fight I just won.
Judges score this contest 49-46, 48-47, and 49-46 for the winner by unanimous decision and new UFC lightweight champion of the world, Benson "Smooth" Henderson.
I can hear my mom in the background. All my corner guys are going crazy, jumping up and down. It was a good moment. I will definitely remember that for the rest of my life.
It did take a big up kick, and yes, there was blood, but that's not how fights are scored. Fights are scored round per round. The judges were just crazy that night. I believe Frankie won that fight. It's definitely a controversy.
I did think I won the fight, but I'll be honest, I put it behind me. We had the rematch August 11th, and that's when I was just focusing on.
Coming up, the master of rematches prepares for another.
That's it.
I got to make adjustments. It's definitely like a chess match in rematches.
I beat you up the first time, I'm guaranteed going to beat you up again the second time.
Down he goes!
When Frankie Edgar relinquished his lightweight belt to Benson Henderson, it was Edgar's first loss in nearly 4 years.
Could have been 100 years and it still hurts. It doesn't matter if you lose back-to-back or you lose once in a while. You know, losing just sucks. It's not fun. Took a month off. I love the gym, you know, I like to train. So being away, it's tough for me, but it was also good for me.
Came back, he was really refreshed, he was sharp.
I see the fire in his eyes. I just see him training extra hard, extra focused, and more attention to detail.
Good. There you go. That's it.
So we made sure that we brought down a lot of guys just to get Frankie more used to southpaw and more kicking. I feel like, you know, now Frankie's 50% better than he was last time, just on those 2 counts alone.
That's it. There you go. Good, 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 good.
I got to make adjustments, and then we also have to think, what adjustments is he going to make?
And straight back. Boom.
It's definitely like a chess match in rematches.
To date, Frankie has never lost a rematch. Benson also won his only rematch, defending the WEC title he took from Donald Cowboy Cerrone.
First fight left a little bit of a chip on my shoulder. I heard a lot of people saying, you didn't really win, and we thought Cowboy won in the rematch.
Down he goes! Unbelievable!
I beat Cowboy in a minute 30 something. What do you have to say now? Now what?
That chip still remains. Not long after winning the UFC belt, Benson outlined his plans for it.
I want to defend it however many times Anderson Silva defends his, +1.
He says he's going to take out the next 14 people. I think he's thinking a little too far ahead. He should be worried about now.
Whoever Dana White says beat up this guy next, I will beat them up. That's my job. That's all I do. So I intend on holding this belt for a long time.
I think Ben thinks he's better than Frankie, which I hope he does, because it's going to be the biggest mistake he makes.
UFC 150 is in Denver, a mile above sea level, where 25 minutes can feel like a lifetime.
I think I'll be able to definitely take advantage of the cardio. We know that he does get tired. We saw that in the first fight. Now the goal for the second fight is to get him tired quicker. In the first round, in the second round, instead of the third round, the fourth round.
I fought there before. I'm going to go out there early. I'm going to acclimate. I'm going to be ready for it.
The last fight, I kind of put the restraints on Frankie on some areas, and definitely not putting restraints on him this fight. Frankie's his best when he does whatever he wants. He's incredible.
I think I was able to use my speed and my movement pretty well.
Once again.
You know, Ben, he's athletic, flexible, has great balance. So it might be a little harder to get him off balance than, say, some other guys.
Frankie's going to try to utilize his boxing more. He may try to utilize his takedowns more because they scored some points for him.
Nice takedown.
But we know that. He's going to do some things we don't expect, and so you kind of have to be mentally balanced enough that when that happens, you can react to it.
And he has a nasty guillotine to Henderson.
Already felt this speed once before. I'll be a little bit more adjusted and be able to be just fine dealing with Frankie's speed.
Frankie never stops giving angles, Mike. Never stands right in front of a guy. Constantly moving.
I do think he's going to try to take the fight to the floor a little bit more. Even though he won, it was still very close. Getting takedowns is definitely a good way to solidify that.
But no matter which tactics the fighters use, nobody wants to leave the rematch to the judges.
Winner!
I was definitely disappointed that I didn't finish Frankie. Not to say that he's easy to finish, but I always want to end fights, period. It doesn't matter who it is, how tough they are. I think I'm good enough that where I should be able to end fights.
About to go the distance.
Knock him out or submit him. You know, that's what we want.
Kick.
I knew Ben was going to be tough. I knew it wasn't going to be an easy fight, and I'm expecting the same to go around this time. I just have to be a little bit better than I was last time.
They're two great athletes and mental competitors. They're both so tough.
I defended my belt a couple times. I was only a one-time champion, but if I win this belt again, I'm a two-time champion, so it has its perks.
If I beat you up the first time, I'm guaranteed going to beat you up again the second time.
Up next, a friendship gets put to the test.
We became really close friends over the 3 years that I was with Jackson's.
I know his wife, I know his little dog. Hey, now, is the friendship going to conflict the fight? Absolutely not. Y'all want to see fireworks. It's going down.
Donald called me and was like, guess we're going to have to go scrap it out, bro. And I was like, all right, let's do it.
When Donald Cerrone and Melvin Guillard face off at UFC 150, it won't only be a matchup of two dynamic lightweights.
Cowboy trying to finish something like that. It's all over. Melvin Guillard with a spectacular finish.
It will be a showdown between former training partners at Greg Jackson's gym in Albuquerque.
We became really close friends over the 3 years that I was with Jackson's.
I know his wife, I know his little dogs. We train 3-4 times a week together. Grappling, stand-up, wrestling, we know each other.
Man, you know, Cowboy's crazy.
That's not big in power.
You know, it is like, you know, he's the craziest white boy I ever met. He also has his own private gym right at his ranch, so I would drive up there at times and we'll do class up there. His birthday's the 29th and mine's the 30th. We've actually celebrated birthdays together. It's almost like this was meant to happen.
Now, is the friendship going to conflict the fight? Absolutely not. Y'all want to see fireworks. It's going down. It's not like, oh, I'm going to hit him less because I know him.
Donald called me and was like, guess we're going to have to go scrap it out, bro. And I was like, all right, let's do it.
For Melvin, fighting someone he's close to is nothing new.
I grew up fighting with my brothers all the time, fighting a close friend. You know, in the neighborhood, you get into a street fight when you're still boys the next day. I guess it just toughened me up. Growing up in New Orleans, I did have several friends that were drug dealers. I also played football with me, but those guys were out doing their thing. My mom just didn't allow me to be around them at that time. I guess that's why I'm sitting here today as a successful young man, because of my parents. My dad was like my best friend. He was my biggest fan. He was the one who signed my professional license for me to turn pro. And he never missed a fight.
With his dad by his side, Melvin won his first 11 fights.
Melvin.
Earning a spot on Season 2 of The Ultimate Fighter. But just before Melvin made his UFC debut, tragedy struck.
My dad got sick around that time, and then when I got back from the show, Katrina hit. My dad stayed in New Orleans just helping rebuild the city. I ended up in Houston, so by the time I did move back home, he was really, really ill in and out of the hospital. He died from cirrhosis of the liver. He had a liver infection from drinking. He was 44 when he passed. It was definitely one of the toughest times in my life because I never thought I'd lose my dad. I started drinking. I started just partying, not caring. about a 2-year stretch that I just kind of fell in the dumps and still trying to balance my career in the UFC.
Hounded by personal demons, Melvin lost 4 of his next 9 fights.
And then one day I just was like, I'm gonna lose out on my dream because of my hurt. But I know that would probably be letting my dad down even more. So put myself in rehab for 6 months. You know, going through it with my wife, I kind of dragged her into like a whole world of turmoil. But she didn't leave me, you know, she stayed with me the whole time.
In an attempt to get his career back on track, Melvin joined Greg Jackson's gym in 2009.
One more round.
Coach Greg, he's one of the greatest people in my life. He not only helped me in the ring, but he helped me outside the ring with personal life issues. I really needed the structure because I was just like a loose cannon just running wild.
Melvin went on a 5-fight win streak, including 3 first-round knockouts.
How good is this kid?
But in 2011, when Melvin's close friend and teammate Rashad Evans left Jackson's gym for South Florida, Melvin went with him.
My career at Jackson's was great. It's just kind of, for my own personal reasons, you know, I ended up leaving. I could have probably moved here and lived here, but I still could have stayed there and trained. I didn't think of it like that. I just was like, okay, I'll move here, I'll train here.
And just as Evans ended up taking on former teammate John Jones, Melvin finds himself preparing for battle with Donald Cerrone.
There were times when I was at Jackson's, we'd be like, man, what'll happen if we have to fight, you know? And everybody's answer was, if we had to, we will.
Am I fighting a teammate? Yeah, so what? We're not really teammates anymore.
We talked about going out and just banging. We'll go out and see which one of us get knocked out.
That's a fired-up cowboy right there.
No one wants to bang, let's bang. I love it.
Coming up.
All my fights are all wins by submission, mostly. His losses are all losses by submission.
Oh, he's got a guillotine. Can he do it with an arm in? It is tight. Right over the top of the line with a big right here. He is in trouble early.
I can knock anybody out. I'll knock out a heavyweight. I mean, I hit that hard.
Yeah. Oh, that one goes down. And it is all over.
Keep dreaming. I got a hard chin, and just take it, and then keep coming.
When Colorado Springs native Donald Cerrone learned that UFC 150 was in Denver, he was desperate to get on the card.
I really want to get on that Denver card. That's my hometown, and I don't care who I fought. If this is the year, I'm ready for it.
That's like, put me on the card, put me on the card. The Pepsi Stadium was always like a dream. And I was like, man, someday I'm gonna fight here. And I kept getting turned down and no one would fight. So Melvin finally said yes, and I'm like, yes, great, let's do it.
Of course, Cowboys gonna have the home field advantage. But I think as far as crowd goes, I think we both have about even amount of cheers.
Hearing that place explode Saturday night is gonna be unbelievable. I mean, words can't even grasp what it feels like walking out in your hometown and have everyone going crazy.
Stylistically, Cerrone and Guillard are at opposite ends of the spectrum. 13 of Cerrone's 18 victories are via submission.
He's got it under. Trying to finish the fight. Oh, he has it. It is all over. Outstanding.
While 19 of Guillard's 30 wins are by knockout.
Guillard pushing for a nice and easy. He rocks, man, as he rocks. And again, another one. It is all over. Man, that is some serious speed.
Having trained with Guillard, Cerrone's camp feels prepared.
Like the matchup for Cowboy. We know everything about Melvin. Very athletic, very talented. The kid can jump out of the cage, but I know what Cowboy can do to him.
I've grown tremendously. Having Coach Henry, learning Dutch kickboxing compared to American kickboxing is like night and day. My techniques have changed. That's something that Donald haven't seen because now my style is completely different. He's definitely a very technical fighter, but I know he don't hit harder than me. I'm not worried about his power. It's just the way he accumulates his punches. I definitely have to be ready for that.
I would say I kick 90% more than I punch.
He puts the hands in front of him to get him to look at the hands and slams that leg kick in.
So he has to watch out for that. How many leg kicks can he take before his power starts fading?
It looks like he's getting ready to kick a football, John. That's how he throws that kick.
How long can he take head kicks?
We may see a stoppage by leg kick.
Yeah.
I know where he's weak. All my fights are all wins by submission mostly. His losses are all losses by submission.
I know in the back of my mind he has good submission game.
Maybe one of the best rubber guards in the business.
There it is.
But for my last fight, my submission game, it just came out. I was able to drill something in practice to where in the fight, when it happened, I didn't think about it. I just knew what to do.
And he gets it down, right back up his Guillard.
So when it did happen, and I did get out of the bad spots, after the fight was over, I was happy to answer some of the questions for the critics.
That arm of Melvin trying to hook it. Guillard trying to scoot out of trouble. Oh, and Melvin gets out. Nicely done, Melvin Guillard.
I think there's his biggest steps to make. Melvin is on the floor, and he did well, so he got more confident.
If I were Melvin, I would be working on my takedown defense. I would also work on my submission defense.
Still, he's got it. That is nasty. It is all over.
But then I gave me where to work on my leg kick defense.
Just the torque he gets in those kicks is outstanding.
And my hands. So there's a lot to work on.
I really don't even want it to be a technical fight. I want to turn it into an all-out brawl.
So explosive, so dynamic. That's one thing that Melvin Guillard has over almost everyone in this division is ridiculous speed.
We still have that camaraderie. We still like brothers at the end of the day. But I can knock anybody out. I'll knock out a heavyweight. I mean, I hit that hard.
Keep dreaming. I got a hard chin, man. And just take it, and then keep coming.
Good punches by David, good right hand by Tom.
We're just gonna go out and see which one of us get knocked out.
Right over the top of the line. The big guy is in trouble early.
We definitely want to go in and steal the show and make sure this fight's fight of the night.
Big left hook, big hammer fist to follow. How good is this kid?
UFC 150 in Denver, I will 100% defeat Melvin Guillard.
Now Cowboy sends it. Cowboy the opportunity to finish. Cowboy trying to finish. Shove it on.
Of course I'm going to beat Cowboy Cerrone. I'm going to knock Cowboy out.
Melvin Guillard, Donald Cerrone.
Coming up.
When I came to the UFC, I decided to drop to welterweight, but I didn't feel like I was quite at my peak, so I'm moving back to 85. I feel like more punching power, a lot more power on my takedowns. Everything feels better right now.
His main focus is just being a bulldozer and doing what he does best is put guys to sleep and submit them.
At UFC 144 in Japan, Jake Shields went into hostile territory to face off with Yoshihiro Akiyama.
Red trunks for Akiyama, black trunks for Shields. Head kick by Shields.
Bring it, Jake, bring it! Bring it, Jake!
Oh, he finally gets the takedown. He's got it back.
Great position to finish this fight for Jake Shields. Now Jake got it.
Winning the winner by unanimous decision, Jake Shields!
What a huge victory for Jake Shields.
With 27 career wins, the former Strikeforce middleweight champion is one of the top fighters in the world. But he's always looking to improve, and sometimes that quest takes him far from his home base in San Francisco.
The sport's always evolving, and so it's good to go see some of the other top talent out there and see what they're working on, what they're doing, and find some ways to adapt and keep getting better. Just got back from San Diego, where I was out training with Alliance. This is a great gym, and I'm friends with a lot of the guys down there. I love training with guys like Phil Davis and Brandon Barra, and, you know, a bunch of friendly guys down there that are top talent.
Before that, Jake went all the way to Abu Dhabi at the invitation of Jiu-Jitsu black belt Sheikh Tanoun bin Zayed Al Nahyan.
They brought me out to train with them. It was an amazing experience. First time in the Middle East. Got to do lots of cool sightseeing out in Abu Dhabi. Went and saw the mosque, one of the most spectacular buildings in the world. They have all kinds of cool toys out there, so they brought us out jetpacking. We sit over water, so it's safer. It goes about 30 feet up. Had a few wipeouts. Overeem showed up on the last couple days I was there. He came to train as well, so it was really cool getting to train great jiu-jitsu with a big heavyweight like that.
Training with bigger fighters should prepare Jake as he moves back up from welterweight to middleweight.
In Strikeforce, I was the middleweight champion. I've had quite a bit of success there. When I came to the UFC, I decided to drop to welterweight, but I didn't feel like I was quite at my peak, so I'm moving back to 85. I want to give a run at that UFC middleweight belt. I'm not a big 85-pounder, but it's nice not cutting a lot of weight and going in there feeling strong and fresh. When I cut to 70s, it just seemed like it was a little too much. The last few weeks, instead of worrying about my training camp, I'd just be worrying about making weight. Sometimes even after the weigh-ins, I wouldn't quite recover fully. I don't like being hungry all the time, so now I'm happy training, and it makes it a lot more enjoyable. The only real disadvantage to 85s is you're going to be fighting bigger opponents. I'm trying to do a lot more strength and conditioning, trying to stay strong. I feel like more punching power, a lot more power on my takedowns. It's just a lot more drive where I can just blast through my shots and kick harder. Everything feels better right now. The guys are going to hit harder, but they're also going to be a little slower, and for me, I think it's quite helpful.
His main focus is just being a bulldozer and doing what he does best, is put guys to sleep and submit them. It's a new start and a new chapter in his career.
He said he wanted to be an exciting fighter, looking to stop this fight in the first round.
Up next, Ed Herman taps into his childhood trauma.
As a kid, I was pretty small growing up. I had red hair and freckles. People picked on me, called me Pee Wee Herman. So I kind of grew up fighting.
I gave Eddie his nickname, the Short Fuse, and I think that name does a pretty good job at explaining what kind of person Eddie was.
When Ed Herman made his way to the octagon to face Tim Creeder in June 2011, it was the end of a grueling 22-month ordeal.
He's in some serious pain here, Mike. He's got a bad injury.
That included 3 knee surgeries.
You question if you're going to be able to come back, if the knee's going to hold up.
White trunks for Herman. He's been out a while. Raiders won 3 of his last 4 UFC fights, but he gets rocked early. And again, and it is all over. Ed Herman, just like that.
How good does it feel to be back and back with a victory?
Oh, man, it's unbelievable. And to come out, my friends and family watching at home, man, oh, my God, this is amazing.
For Ed, the timing of the victory couldn't have been better, since he still owes his fiancée an engagement ring.
All of a sudden, she got pregnant, and I thought, I can handle 1 kid, no problem. Boom, twins. Oh, my twins definitely wear me down. I come home from training, and I'm tired. Dad, you know.
There you go, buddy, good job.
Just nonstop talking. You're like, can you be quiet for 1 second, please? Silence. Hey guys, don't pull on the tree out there. Why don't you come down with your brother? Not to mention she had a daughter going into the relationship. You don't realize how expensive kids are. Feels like it is never ending. But you know, it's great. I wouldn't change it for the world. Show my muscles again. I've always loved kids. Satisfying for me to be able to help somebody else out and be a positive role model. Happy element surprise. Postures up. Boom, there you go. Good. Maybe do the things that I felt that weren't done for me. My parents divorced when I was younger. My parents were both battled with drug and alcohol abuse for a while there. So I felt like I didn't have any parents and I was gonna have to survive myself. As a kid, I was pretty small growing up. I had red hair and freckles. People picked on me, called me Pee Wee Herman. So I kind of grew up fighting anyway. I ended up getting in trouble my junior year and they weren't gonna let me wrestle or play football, so I dropped out of school.
When he wasn't out partying and getting into trouble, Ed watched some of the early UFC events with his father.
My dad loved it. Like, he was like, man, if they had this stuff 20 years ago, you know, that kind of thing. And I remember watching some of it and going, man, I could get in there with that guy.
Ed started training at Team Quest in Portland with Randy Couture.
After being, you know, going through all the hard times that I had and people telling me you can't do this, you can't do that, having a world champion show some interest in you and feel like you have some potential with a huge confidence booster. That's what changed my life for sure.
When I met Ed, I think he must have only been about 21 or 22. I gave Eddie his nickname, the Short Fuse. And I think that name does a pretty good job at explaining what kind of person Eddie was.
Short Fuse won 13 out of his first 15 pro fights. He joined the UFC in 2006, and in 2007 earned bonuses in 3 straight victories.
Very nice takedown and pass by Ed Herman. Ed Herman looking for the takedown, looking for that takedown. So much for the stand-up battle. Yes. And again. Herman relentless with his attack. Man. Ed Herman's got his back. Now Ed Herman has choked him out, and it is all over. Ed Herman landed some big bombs. Oh, there's my knockout, baby.
Ed's now riding another 3-fight win streak.
And it is all over. Ed Herman and Kyle Note.
We rolls him over, and the armbar attack. Ed Herman, I'm impressed with the way he threatens on one side and leads you and then attacks on the other. Inside heel hook, this is nasty. So, no, and then he got it. He got it. He got it.
Ed Herman. This is a brawl. Yes, it is. Good way to get things started here tonight.
Nice knees by Herman. Nice uppercut as well. And Ed Herman takes him down. Look at this. Now he's got it.
It's all over. The winner by rear naked choke.
At UFC 150, Ed will take on the toughest test of his career.
I respect Jake. He's a phenomenal fighter. I feel like if I can defend his takedowns, I can move my feet and pick him apart.
He likes to put a ton of pressure on his opponents and go out there and break them, but that's exactly what I like to do. We're both going to go out there and fight as hard as we possibly can until one of us breaks.
What I know about Ed Herman, he's a tenacious fighter, he's a striker, he's a grappler, and he's a wrestler. He's definitely a tough matchup.
Now Herman is in deep trouble here. Herman spins to and he's up.
I'm actually really impressed with his ground game.
Telling you, the submission game of Ed Herman really impressed me tonight.
This type of submission guy that constantly goes for submissions.
Submissions can finish a fight. Herman's got it back.
When someone does that, you're more likely to tap him. So I think there's been an opportunity to catch him.
Great position for Jake Shields.
The big win against Jake Shields is going to really rocket me up the division rankings. And I want to prove to people that, you know, I'm a legitimate contender and that if you doubt me, you're in trouble.
This is my first time back at middleweights in the UFC. I want to go out there and dominate this fight and show that I deserve to be back in the title contention.
Jake, I respect the hell out of you, but I'm going to put you away, bud.
I will defeat Ed Herman. Not only do I want to win, I want to finish him.